The seaside town of Newport, Rhode Island is steeped in maritime tradition, along with a history of farming and growing. Today, these centuries-old roots live on in artisans and makers who share their passions with their local community, producing handcrafted items that can be found only in Newport. First up is a local whose harvests come from the ocean, but it's probably not what you think.
I was looking for something a little bit out of the box to do, but something that would keep me outside, connected to the ocean. We're just fortunate enough that this beautiful area produces some amazing sea salt.
Matt Mullins harvests salt from the local waters that tastes unlike any other.
Depending on where you are, the trace minerals from the location can vary. We monitor the winds, tides, weather. We'll get about 150 gallons of ocean water. We'll filter it. We produce our salt in a commercial kitchen. It's a two-step process to making the salt. A boiling phase, then a simmering phase. It takes approximately 9 hours to go from seawater to salt. We don't add anything to our salt. It's basically what Mother Nature gives us right from the ocean. There are thousands of different types of sea salt. Ours is a delicate flake, which is nice because it can just be broken apart with your fingers and sprinkled on whatever it is you're preparing. It's not too crunchy and not too in-your-face salty. It enhances the flavor of whatever it is you're cooking. We take pride in what we do here. We're careful, and when we collect our water, we're very fortunate that here in Newport we have beautiful ocean water. Rhode Island is known for its shellfish and its seafood, and I like to think that it's so good because it's marinating in our salt. People don't realize where the food comes from, and when they really think about it, they know that you actually get really good food from right in your local area. So support your local farmers, your local fishermen, local sea salt makers.
There's a one-stop shop for supporting local producers like Matt. It's the Aquidneck Growers Market. This market features growers, harvesters, and beverage makers who are using ingredients grown and sourced locally. You'll find a variety of things, from Matt's reef-to-table sea salt to Newport's favorite, Red's hot sauce, hand-churned butter, kombucha, pressed juices, and so much more. Whatever you end up finding here, it's all uniquely Newport. Next up is Scrimshaw, the art of engraving on ivory and bone. Bryant is keeping this American folk art alive at his shop in Bowen's Wharf.
I love what I do mainly because it's a unique art form. Very few of us do it. The art originated with the men on the whale ships in the early 18th century, 19th century. They were working on whale teeth, whale bone, basically a byproduct of the oil industry. There's no new material. We can repurpose ivory from piano keys and different things like hairbrushes and cue balls. Now we work primarily in woolly mammoth tusk. They find a lot of that material in Alaska and Siberia. I'll start with the raw materials. Whatever I'm working with will need to be sanded to grind down the surface. Might start with an 80 grit and get that surface smooth, and then start working my way up with different grits of paper to a real fine point. At that point, now when I'm engraving, I'm scratching through a surface that's very polished. And then I will rub paint over it. It stays in the scratches and then rubs right off the polished part. Usually we're engraving the whaling scene or some nautical design. We've evolved into jewelry, cufflinks, money clips.
Over the years, Bryant's shop has turned into a de facto spot to find artifacts and antiques.
We've got a lot of 19th century sailor-made pieces and then old whale teeth with new artwork. I have artists that I specialize with that do teeth in bigger pieces with the ivory and a carving, three-dimensional, versus a Scrimshaw engraving. You start thinking of where that tusk came from when it's 10,000 to a million years old. So there's times that you put yourself in that time period going, wow, this is pretty cool.
Whether it's fresh harvested salt, unique homegrown sauces, or a rare folk art with maritime ties, there are a variety of experiences here that can only be found in Newport.